Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Two issues for this video. First one, what happens if one of these mighty leaders from the West, while they're visiting Ukraine, they get killed in an air attack by the Russians? What would that country do? Let's say in this case we have the Czech president visiting Odessa, and the Russians launched a massive attack on Odessa, and let's say the guy is bellied up. What would Czech Republic do? That's the first one. The second one, I will show you how delusional the West is. In this case, France, Great Britain in general. And that is, they tell the Russians that you can't do this, you must do this. They think they still have it. They are delusional. They don't understand that they are just in a simulation. They're just not there anymore. They can't believe, they still think they're powers, world powers. They're not. I don't know when they're going to realize that, but nevertheless, let me show you. And they threaten the Russians. They say, hey, the Russians, you must do this, you can't do this, you do this. Or what? Like, what exactly? All right, let's start with the first topic. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda. It is from Thursday, 20th of March. Russia launches large-scale drone attack on Odessa. Emergency blackouts in city. Civilians injured. Okay, so this is occurred in the night of the 20th to the 21st. Russian forces deployed attack UAVs against Odessa on the evening of 20th March, causing explosions and intense fires in the city. Reports indicated that civilians had been injured. All right, so the Ukrainian Air Force warned about the threat of drones from the Black Sea. Said that 15 explosions had rocked the city. So how in the hell, man? You are incapable of defending yourselves now? In the past, I don't know, 3 years, you've been better and better, like 100%, destroying the Russian drones. But hey, this is where it occurred. This is the Black Sea, this is the Crimean Peninsula, this is Romania, this is Odessa. This is where this attack occurred, from the Black Sea. Now, this gets me to this article. Czech president visits Odessa during Russian large-scale attack. Photo. This guy, if you don't know who this guy is, like Pavel or something. Yeah, Petr Pavel. Yeah, it's a very, very European name. Peter and Pavel. Very European name. But anyway, Piotr, it's all right. So you got Czech President Peter Pavel has a right to visit. Now, do you know who that guy is or was? He was a NATO general. If I remember correctly, the president of Czech Republic was a general in NATO. So he's, yes sir, we're going to fight Russia. So let's say the Russians would have killed this guy in this attack. What would the Czech Republic do? Send its 10 million people to fight the Russians? Maybe. All right, so that's the first one. And now I'm going to show you how these delusional individuals who have no teeth. It's like you have a strong neighbor that you know is going to fuck you up if he wants. And you start telling him what to do over and over, like you're gonna knock him out or something. That is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, pathetic. Right here, this is Ukraine form. Ukraine in OSCE. Russia must unconditionally accept ceasefire. Or what? Or what? He's gonna take all over your country. You lost it. You played their game, which is the West and their interest, and now they drop you, and you're gonna lose everything. And I will tell them you should, you must, not you should. Should is like you should, ought to. No, you must. Who dictates? The victor, the winning side. Is Ukraine the winning side? I don't think so. Now next one. I'm gonna show you these guys who really are delusional. Ukrainska Pravda. Macron, or Facron, however you prefer, the president of the great country of France. Russia must accept ceasefire proposal. Must. Or what? What are you going to do? Buddy? Homie? Next one. Ukrainska, this is from the 14th of March. Next one. Ukraińska Prawda. Russia must show a real willingness to end war. 26 EU state leaders say. I have to point out that these leader states, they try to destroy Russia. So you are losing and you have no word. So Russia must show real willingness to end war. Yeah, it will end it under its demands, on its terms, not on yours. 26 EU countries. Those 26 EU countries fought the Russians in Ukraine. And now they're losing, and now they must show nothing. You go back to your place over there and shut up. But hey, maybe they're going to tell us the 26 countries. The 26 countries are the vassal states of the United States of America. That's what they are. Let's see. The conclusions of the EU summit have stated that Russia must demonstrate a genuine desire to end the war it has unleashed against Ukraine. I mean, if you start with this baboonish statement from the very beginning, what do you want? All right, the section of the summit's conclusions on Ukraine, supported by 26 member states, was released as a separate document. All right, where are they? All right, I don't see their names. Nevertheless, these are the same guys. So let me give you a reality check. So you kill my people in Ukraine. Let's start from the beginning. You said you're not going to bring NATO troops closer to me. You're not going to enlarge your NATO 1 inch towards east if I agree with the unification of Germany. And I said, duh. Okay, давай, let's go. Good. But you expand 5 times, I think, right? Enlarge your NATO or whatever you enlarge it. And you come to my borders. In 1994, it was the Budapest Memorandum, signed by the United States of America. I think Great Britain was also there, France, I think, Russia, and Ukraine, which said Ukraine will be a neutral country and its sovereignty will be respected as long as it stays neutral. Okay. It was neutral until 2014, when you, the same guys that promised in 1991 not to advance east towards Russia, and you lied, until you helped overthrow a legitimate, democratically elected government in Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovych's government. Bloody coup. And then the next day, when it was successful, you immediately, the democratic countries who love democracy and defend democracy and promote it and spread it, they immediately recognize the guys who conducted the coup d'etat. So again, you lied. And then since then, 2014, that country was not neutral anymore. You start bringing weapons, you start bringing trainers, you started bringing CIA and so on. Preparing it, and then you started going after the guys in Donbass. And the Russian says, nah, you know what, I think that's it. That's the end of the line. And that's how we started in 2014. Then you signed the 2014 Minsk agreements. Then you started the Minsk agreement in 2015. And in 2021, Zelensky said, I don't like anything about those. So no peace, no nothing. And we had France and Great Britain as the guarantors that Ukraine will fulfill its obligations in the Minsk agreement 2015, which became international law. So they violated that. So then the Russian says, you know what? We're going to come in and we're going to fuck you up. Okay, bring it on. We were ready. We're preparing. So whose fault is here with a aggressive stance by the Russians? And they went in to defend their ethnic Russians over there who were attacked by the legitimate government in Kiev. It was not legitimate because not all the country voted for them. And those guys were the usurpers of the legitimate government of Yanukovych. So if you want to really do it right, you bring back the government. It's not like the king. You know, I'm the king, and my offspring is going to be my heirs. My heirs were going to be the kings. And you have a brother, a legitimate brother. He comes and kills me. He takes power, and then he says, I'm the legitimate guys, and my legitimate guy here. And my offspring, my heirs, will be the legitimate kings. And then after them, legitimate. No, you're not going to be. You started with an illegitimacy. You killed me, the legitimate king, Viktor Yanukovych, the legitimate government. Everything that came after that, it was illegitimate. In my books, now if you think that's okay, imagine someone coming in your house, beating you up for now, getting proper ownership of your house, and said, well, actually, this is my house. And everybody else recognized that guy who came into your house and said, it's my house. Why? I beat you up. But it was your house. Why? You bought it. I didn't buy it. I took over. And everybody over there who are for private property and, you know, a contract is a contract and so on, they recognize this guy who beat you up and took your property as being his property now. Now this is what's going on in Ukraine. Okay. So let's go to the next one. Here, Ukrainska Pravda. UK Foreign Secretary Putin cannot veto deployment of peacekeepers in Ukraine. What are you going to do, homie? Again, they are very upset. They think it's delusional. Delusional. Great Britain is not a world power anymore. It is better than others and weaker than others. But it's not what it used to be. Remember, you bankrupt yourselves and you destroyed your empire when you won the Second World War. So you won the Second World War, Hitler is gone, Soviet Union took half of Europe, you lost your colonies, you lost your empire, you became bankrupt, and you won. What the hell did you win? You didn't win. They win. 1948, all right? They used you like a little So, cannot veto. They will veto because they will taking over. You don't understand that? What are they going to do? Fight them? No. Who are going to fight with? Because Great Britain is not going to go and fight Russia. Why? They're too strong. You understand? It's too strong. They're going to use the Romanians, maybe the imbeciles in Poland, maybe the Baltic states. And after the Russians smack all these imbeciles, they're going to move back. They say, oh, now Czech Republic, maybe Slovakia, no, Hungary, who says? Austria, Germany. And then when it gets closer, they're going to say, hey, why don't we talk to the Russians, man? Nobody thought about talking to the Russians. I'm going to talk. I'm the peacemaker right here. That's exactly what happened with Trump right now. He's the peacemaker. We're going to talk with the Russians. You talk to the Russians now only because you didn't win. You didn't destroy Russia. That's the only reason. And it seems like some interest said, we had enough. Let's try to go through the window inside the house, inside Russia, because to the main door, front door, we were incapable. That's what's going on. Just grabbing the Russians and befriending them and have a drink with them. And when the Russians look, hey, look, hey, Ivan, look over there. And Ivan is like, and they go, all right. That's what they're doing right now. They couldn't come close. They tried to fight. They lost. Ivan was smacking them around. And after Ivan smacked John and Tom and Hans and whomever around and Pierre, all these baboons they smack. Okay, we can do this. So, hey, I brought some vodka. Want some schnapps? A little drink here? Huh? And the Russians say, okay, all right, let's go. And little by little, they're going to get close. Maybe in bed with them. And then while in bed with a pillow. That's how they hope. This is a new tactic. All right. Now, let me show you how Putin reacted to all these things. Putin cannot veto deployment of peacekeepers. This is Putin. Exactly. He sent me this. Or this one. Who the hell are you? Cannot veto. No. Russia must show real willingness. Yeah. And Russia must accept. All right, you got it? And okay, Russia must unconditionally accept ceasefire. And this is Putin in the Kremlin. What are you talking about, baboon? All right. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.